Yo, peace. It's about 3 a.m. right now. I'm up watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Just taking it easy. I just want to talk about what it means to be God. It's not just something that, you say just to be cool and shit. Like it has a certain meaning to it. Like when you say you God, when you say you create your reality and shit, that means you have to take responsibility for everything, for you. Because this is a journey within. This is a journey about discovering why you are the way you are. This is not to decode the world. You know what I mean? This is not to find out why shit happens. No, this is about why does your mind work the way it works? What's up with you? You know what I mean? It's about self-discovery. You get what I'm saying? And if you don't know yourself, you can't know God. For one. So that's the first thing. To be God just means that you know yourself. You know what I mean? You know who and what you are. Excuse me. You know why you're here. You know what I mean? And it ain't even on no spooky shit. It's just about, I'm here to discover more of who I am. You get what I'm saying? It's ain't about saving the world and all that shit. It's just about, this is who I am. I'm not changing for nobody. I really just want to know why I am the way I am. You get what I'm saying? And it really don't have nothing to do with nobody else. Everybody else is just kind of distractions from that, because when you know who you are, you can go inside your own mind and you can unlock all your potentials and shit, because that's what you're really doing it for. You get what I'm saying? Like we're doing this to unlock our inner wealth. We're not doing this to get the money, the bitches, weed and all that shit. You know what I mean? We doing this shit to unlock our inner wealth. Shit that you can't put a price on, you know what I mean? The shit that's gonna help you be the best you can be. If you're an artist, then this is to help you to be an artist. Not to get fame, but to be the best artist you can be, to be I don't want to say a servant to God, I don't want to sound religious with this shit, but to produce divine art, if you're an artist. Produce divine art, you get what I'm saying? So if you are producing divine art, that means it must have come from a divine being. You feel me? So it's not really nothing hard to it. It's just about when we say these terms, it has to mean something. It has to be some type of meaning behind it. You can't just go around saying shit. Obviously, you go around telling people you God, they're gonna be like, well, fucking show me some lightning or some shit. So you gotta take the suspicious shit out of it immediately out the door. Like, this is something that I decided to do. This is something that makes sense to me. This is something that I am, and this is something that I feel my path is. And fuck how anybody else feels about that. You know what I mean? You don't really have to explain shit to nobody. It's just about you have to know why you're here. If you don't know why you're here, ain't nobody else gonna know why you're here. You know what I'm saying? You can't really do shit for nobody. And it's not even about helping nobody else. It's about, as long as you make it out, your job is done. But just look how hard it is for you, for me, to do what we gotta do. Just to do what we gotta do for ourselves. This ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. Like, it's a lot to do just doing this shit by yourself, just helping your own self, getting your ass up out of here. You know what I mean? Like, this shit, that alone is enough to get into heaven if you just want to keep it real. Just to say that you got the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? You mastered the matrix, you mastered your own mind. That's enough. That's enough. You don't need to do shit else. You feel me? So when we realize that we're not just one person, we are everything that ever was, everything that ever will be. You can wake up one day and decide to be a banker, then the next day you want to fucking wash dishes. You can do that if you wanted to. You're not limited to a dishwasher or a banker. You know what I mean? You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. Because if you want to do it, that means you're supposed to do it. You feel me? I'm doing what I'm doing because this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is not necessarily something I grew up wanting to do. I never thought I was going to be on fucking YouTube talking to fucking 2,000 subscribers, 100,000 views and all that shit. Like, that wasn't really my goal coming into this shit. You know what I mean? This was just, if y'all really want the real story, I'll tell you the real fucking story. Let's get personal on this motherfucker. The real shit. The first video I made was December 2013. Like, before or after Christmas, I don't know. But at the time, I had just did a ritual to summon the devil. I did a dark ritual, you know what I mean? Like, I'll give y'all the short version. I did a ritual, I summoned the devil, you know, devil, Lucifer, Satan, Don Baluido, all that shit, you know what I mean? Like, this dark ass spirit, you know, shit I've been talking about lately. This is kind of how I came into the YouTube shit. Because if you watch my earlier videos, you will see like it's darker. Like, I'm showing tarot cards and all that shit. So I wasn't cussing in my videos though, because I was trying to be fucking civil. But I'm like, fuck this, you motherfuckers. Not you watching the video, but y'all deserve to see me in my rawest form. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to sugarcoat and filter none of this shit for you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just keeping it real. So I did a dark ritual. And shit started to get weird. Cause at that point I couldn't sleep no more. Cause like the energy was just so intense in the house, like I couldn't even go to sleep. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just gonna keep it real. I was kind of fearful at the time. I thought I was being attacked by aliens and having all type of psychic attacks and all that shit. Cause it was very, very uncomfortable. And you know, eventually it just got overwhelming to the point I had to fucking move. Like, if you look at my first videos, like whatever that apartment was, you see like, but you know, throughout the course of the videos, you see me in different locations anyway, but I wasn't in there for 2 months. Like, know what I mean? Like, that shit was just way too fucking ridiculous for me. So that's just kind of a background into how I got into this. It wasn't my plan, it just was like the result of a ritual. And it didn't really make sense to me, and I just had to express it. You know what I mean? I had to get it out because it was just really heavy on my mind, so I just decided to speak on it. You know what I mean? That's just what it was. So, just moving on, it's like, when you get into like the real science, in terms of like, you know how to construct the astral temple. If you don't know what an astral temple is, it's basically like you build a home in your mind, like, you know, your dream home or whatever the fuck the case is. Just somewhere that you can be comfortable and you can go to whenever you dream. Like, whenever you dream, you think about your astral temple, and you go there and you know, do magical rituals and all that shit. Like, everything don't have to be done here in the physical plane. You can do shit in your astral temple, and it has an even greater result, because that's how you're supposed to properly do magic anyway, within your mind, because everything is mental. That's the first law. You know, the first universal law. You get what I'm saying? Like, once you get past that shit, everything is mental. Get out those emotions and shit, you know what I mean? Because people don't even know what emotions are. You know what I'm saying? If you look up emotions right now on Wikipedia, whatever the fuck you use, it's gonna say nobody really fucking knows. People have theories, but there is no real, you can't really pin it down into one thing. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just really something that we have and we don't fully understand. I'm not gonna act like I fully understand shit either, because I don't. So when we talk about enlightenment, we're talking about gaining light from the ancestors. I would say that's the wording I would use. That's not the only way to say it. That's just how I would say it. And you gain light by going through rituals, by doing rituals, by going through challenges, by going through tests. Because the more you harden yourself, the more you do spiritual work, the more light you will have, spiritual light. And you know, you just attract people, you know what I mean? Like, you look into my eyes right now. Each and every person that's looking at me is gonna see something different. You know what I mean? Because your interpretation of me is going to be different from somebody else's interpretation, and whatever your interpretation is of me probably reflects something within you. Most of the time, you're really only seeing yourself in the mirror. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we all connected and shit. You know what I mean? Even though I don't really like using those cliche terms, you know, everybody talks about fucking Kundalini and soulmates and all this shit, and aliens, and the world is about to end and all that shit. Like, people been talking about this shit for ages. So I'm just trying to, you know, approach this shit from a different level. Just, you know, keep the shit interesting. And, you know, just being a little bit more personal, because I feel like the more you know about the person you're listening to, you can see if it's real shit. You know what I mean? Like, I was doing dark rituals because I'm a dark person. That's just who I am. That's who I always been. I just like dark shit. That's why I'm into the occult, metaphysics, all that shit. That's why I'm here. That's why you're here. know what I mean? Like this is just us in our natural state, chaos beings, dark beings, you know what I mean? Dark immortals, whatever the fuck you want to call us, on the same shit to me. So, you know, a lot of people who walk this path, like they don't really recommend this path. Like I wouldn't necessarily call it a left-hand path, because right hand would be more so like, you know, doing what everybody else is doing. The left-hand path would be, you know, doing your own thing. You know, it makes sense in that, because, you know, I encourage people to do their own thing, but at the same time, your own thing, you have to trust within yourself, because if you do a ritual that you created on your own, you know what I mean, if you believe that shit worked, it worked. But if you don't feel like it worked because you didn't follow a guideline, or you didn't read a book, or somebody else didn't recommend it, and you don't have faith in your own abilities, and you know what I mean, that's something else. And that's, you know what I mean, that's what we're here to do. We're here to learn that it's us doing this shit. How can motherfuckers use the same stove, the same cooking materials, you know what I mean, basically follow the same process, but have two different results? Because one person's a fucking chef and one person isn't. So even though they have the same materials and shit, you're not gonna always come with the same results. You know what I'm saying? So also, eventually, when you walk this path, you're gonna meet your antichrist, I would say. You're gonna meet your opposite. You're gonna meet somebody who makes you very uncomfortable. You're gonna meet somebody who challenges your spirituality. Like, if you're really about this shit, you know, it's, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, you know, like a lot of shit that's in the Bible, the Quran, you know, the walls of Egypt and all, you know, the ancient books and shit. There's always some shit that has something to do with, you know, scales and, you know, balancing up the, you know, the feather and the heart, and or your intention's good. Like, you're gonna eventually face that, even if you're not really into business or selling products or nothing. Like, your spirituality is constantly going to be tested to see if this is really what you truly want. And anybody who walks this path know what I'm talking about. Like, you will always be tested, right, from the craziest point of view. Like, you know what I mean? Like somebody who's not even, you don't consider spiritual may say something spiritual, may ask you a spiritual question that's you may not even have ever thought about. You know what I mean? It just kind of fucks you up. Like, it's shit like that happens that keep you going, that keep you motivated. You get what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? It's all about exploring the underworld, exploring your subconscious. You know what I mean? Going into the 8th house, going into, you know what I mean, the house of Scorpios, going in. It's just about, if this is truly what you want, if you are really a dark being, and you're really a chaos being, then you should be able to handle anything that comes at you to the point where you have no fear. Eventually, you gotta get to a point where you have no fear. So, whenever you having dreams or you dealing with real life experiences and you have no fear in your heart, you can see the truth into it, every situation. If you have no fear, you can see the truth into every situation, because your fear doesn't create illusions in your mind and project shit that's not even there. You get what I'm saying? Even though it all, in a sense, isn't there, but it kind of is, just depending on what you project out. So if you filter your projections because you have no fear, then you will be able to see things for how they really are, or basically you can change your interpretation into what you like, whatever the fuck you want it to be, you know what I mean? So I'm just giving y'all some different angles and shit. You know what I mean? Because y'all ain't seen my face and I don't know how long, and yeah, I'm still alive. You know what I mean? Looking kind of rough and shit, you know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? It is what it is. This is just, it's all a part of the game, you know what I mean? I ain't got to look all good for the camera and shit. You know what I mean? So we're just going to keep it moving with, if you're really into higher learning would just be to know yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to know shit else but yourself. That's all you need to know. As long as you know yourself and what you are capable of, your talents or whatever, then you're good at life. You don't need to learn shit but yourself. So you don't need to read no more books. You don't need to learn no more systems. You just, you know, go into your own self. You know what I mean? And from this point on, the reason I'm calling this the initiation is because from this point on, I'm gonna be like, I guess it'll be like more step-by-step ways to decode shit, as opposed to, like I'm doing now, just kind of running my mouth. But from now on, like, I will have like more practical shit. I mean, that you like I'll put like a canvas up or some shit, canvas, and be, write on this shit, and you could be able to see some shit, and it'll be a little different. It'll be more orientated towards what you can do practical wise, as opposed to, just ideas that I'm just shooting at you. And that should lead into being able to build something, physically, like, if a pyramid is your favorite symbol, you should be able to build a pyramid. What's stopping you from building a pyramid? Now, you may not have all the dimensions and all that shit. I'm not even talking about physically, I'm talking about mentally. In your astral temple, remember? If you can build a pyramid in your astral temple and fill the pyramid with the type of shit that you like to see, your type of symbols and shit, you create your astral temple, you're gonna be able to manifest that outwardly. You know what I mean? And it'll come to you. Everybody has examples where shit just comes and you just wake up with new knowledge. It happens. You know what I mean? So if you can construct pyramids in your astral temple, you know what I mean? You're good. Because what is a pyramid? What does it represent? You know what I mean? It has a lot of meanings. You know what I mean? And it's obviously a universal symbol. It's not exclusive to Egypt or no shit like that. It's the most famous in Egypt, but this is a symbol that predates all that shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's pyramids on Mars. You know what I'm saying? So this shit goes beyond Earth, earthly knowledge and all that shit. So, you know what I mean? If you're willing to make the sacrifice, and the sacrifice is just doing this. It's like, if you talking about spirituality, it's just about, I would say, the most important things is fasting and sleep. Fasting from food and fasting from sleep. Like, if you can stay up a full 24 hours, then after that start taking 20-minute naps every couple hours. Like, I spoke about this a couple times already, but that's the biggest thing that holds people back. Like, fucking, if it's not food, it's sleep. You sleeping too much, not enough. Eat too much, not enough. So if you can get that shit balanced, you know what I mean, you should be able to have all type of spiritual experiences. So I just wanted to give y'all an update. It's been 2 weeks, you know what I mean? And I don't know if it felt like 2 weeks to y'all, but you know what I mean? All I gotta say is just look in my eyes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's really, I don't even know how to explain this shit, but I don't know. Just keep at it, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? If nothing else, I'm gonna keep at it, so, you know what I mean? Just giving y'all some motivation, keep this shit up, peace, hotel. You know what I mean?